remove cover will look different than the one you have, but essentially the same thing. Step 2 is going to be remove this screw here. There's one hidden underneath this rail here. All these screws on the outside, all of them have to come out. This actually has an O-ring seal so you can pull it up. You don't have to worry about disconnecting it here. It'll be disconnected much easier when it's up out of the way. You must remove this coil and this coil in order to remove this assembly. This part of it separates. Oil will run out, so you want to try to keep that together. When you need to disconnect these, because you have to move this rail down, you'll have to remove this screw here. You'll pull on this with a screwdriver and you'll hear a click, and you'll work it all the way down and all the way back. Be careful if your wires are going to be connected. It will be different on yours, but be mindful that this is plastic. You can break the clips, but work it off. You'll be able to hear it. You'll hear a click. Let me get a screwdriver. I'll show you what that clicks at. And you'll work it down the way, and then you're going to work this back and forth. I still have it connected, so I'm not going to go through that again, but you do that. Now, that's good. These are difficult to remove. Once you have this pulled back, and like I said, when you remove this screw, you can work it back. You're going to have to kind of peel it back and like peel it up. It may be different on yours. Look to see if there's different screws holding this whole assembly together. There are different ones on different models. But you'll grab, they make a tool, but you can grab it firmly and work it up. It's going to feel like you're going to rip it in half at sometimes, but be patient, slow, steady pressure, pulling it up. When you put them back in, coat the inside ring and whatnot that you'll see there, coat that with some silicone or dielectric grease. You put it back in, there's a line on them, so you can see that you've put them all the way back in, because it's deceiving. These things go in there a long ways. So put everything back in. Once you remove this, this will go back on the other unit. This piece that comes down to this drain tube here, and again, if you pull that up, it won't leak oil down. There's an O-ring gasket. You'll push that back into the new unit, and you'll have this one on the new unit. You take this one off the old unit by depressing on the top and bottom and pulling out. Before you put it back in, you'll put that back on and slide it down. I would start by, and how I did it was, once I got this in place, I left this one loose. And then what I did was I started with this far screw that's underneath this rail here. It may or may not be on yours. I screwed that one down because that hangs off the main body of it. And I tightened that like it was like, finger tight or whatever, just lightly, just let it seat down. And then I worked my way to the center with that. And then, of course, I worked my way around the rest of it. But when I started actually tightening everything down, I started tightening down on this end, these things once everything was. So, because you can see this part of it hangs off of the body, so it'd be very easy to torque that. And this is plastic, so you want to pull it down steady. So once I pulled it in, and this may or may not be the right way to do it, but it's how I did it. And then I just started staggering from the outside in. Once I got this down, I just did the inside here, and then kind of worked my way around, and then just slowly set it down. I did also coat the new O-ring with a little bit of oil, so it would come down. And once you do that, it's done. If you have any codes, reset your codes with your ECU, your scanner, or whatever, but that's pretty much it. Put everything back in place, and it is good to reset readiness, you know what I mean, or reset all codes and DTCs so that see, that one was only back in. I heard the positive click going back in. But that's pretty much it. It's easy, but that could solve an oil consumption issue, and it could also prevent having issues with too much crankcase pressure and breaking down your rings. Done.